Ladies and gents, it has been way too freaking long, and for that I am sorry. We got a lot to talk about because the car is pretty much finished. It's really dirty right now, and before I show you, I want to talk about why I haven't been filming. Basically, like, I'm in my driveway building this car, and over the winter it really sucks because the weather's terrible. And we had a really late spring. It really just started becoming spring a couple weeks ago. The weather's just been terrible. Also, like, I was just so burnt out of working on the car with every spare minute that I had that I was just tired of working on it by myself, tired of, like, you know, issues and all that crap. But it is painted. All the aero is installed. The motor is running and driving fine. So let's start talking about it. So here is the car. Definitely a little wild, right? There's bird crap all over it. You can't really tell because of the paint. That's bird crap. That's bird crap. There's bird crap on the windshield. Side skirts are on. The fine line tuning. Type 3, Origin Type 3 fenders. Still got to fix a little bit of that because it's kind of sitting out here. It likes to wiggle a little bit, so I need to kind of attach it there. The last time you saw this car, I was still trying to get the trans in. So I don't even know when that was. It was months and months and months ago. Let me stand in the shade here because it's pretty dang warm. So I tried to get the trans in with 2 people. Wasn't going to happen. It actually took 4 people to get the trans in just because of the lack of ground clearance, even on jack stands, and the fact that we had to kind of jack the motor up on the front and align it all. It was just it took 4 people to get the trans in there. After the trans went in, it was just pretty much buttoning things up, getting the body panels mocked up, lined on, lined up, cutting the rear overs, fitting them on. Let's see what else. The front brake calipers, I had an issue with that. You know, the fitting had stripped out, so I had to helicoil that, and then I went to put the other one back on and had to helicoil that one too. So both of my brake calipers are helicoiled, but they seem to be doing fine. And then once we got everything together, I needed a battery because my battery was dead. Went to start it up and started great, let it idle. Found a couple little leaks, tightened those up, buttoned those up. Had to wire up the fans. That was no big issue. We were like, okay, well, let's take this thing for a drive. So we dropped it down on the ground and it wouldn't go in gear. So we spent a couple days trying to figure out why it wasn't going in gear. Bled the clutch several more times, and then I had this dumb idea, hey, maybe since it's just been sitting so long that the clutch is actually like rusted to the flywheel. So we put it on the ground and started it in first, and boom, I had clutch. So I took it around the circle here, and I had no brakes, so we brought it back to the house, bled the brakes a little bit more, and then I took it around the block and did a burnout, which I've got a potato video recording of that. I'll throw that in here real quick. It's still open headers. I've got some V-band flanges and clamps coming so that I can get that done. Yeah, I mean, she's running good. Actually runs cooler than my SR did, which is wild. I've got this new fake Nardi steering wheel in here. I'll show you guys. Some faux carbon fiber. It's here. It's I mean, it works. Whatever. I don't care. But yeah, it's wild, man. It's freaking loud. I can't wait to get some sort of an exhaust just so it's not by my face and it burns my eyes driving it. Most of you guys are probably here because of this paint job. I saw, let me just, I don't know, walk around this thing because it's so rad. It's one of those like deals that like you're either gonna love it or hate it. But yeah, man, I can't stop like loving it. Like, pulled up to the show and it like broke necks. It was awesome. It's like, it's totally different. I guess I should talk about my process for this. I was like, all right, I really want to paint my car, really want to spend all the time doing the body work. I want to make it look really good. I want it to be rad. But then life happened and I was like, that is totally not in my budget this year, but I can spend like 250, 300 bucks to dip it. So I decided to dip it again. But then I was like, well, I want to do something different and something cool. So like, I'm like following all the YouTube channels. There's a Dip Your Car actually has their own YouTube channel, and they did this really cool like project on a Mustang. They did a white base with like all different kinds of splatter paint on it, right? And I was like, well, that's a really cool idea, and that seems really fun to do. Seems like it's going to make a heck of a mess, but I mean, what's wrong with a mess? I'm a 90s kid. This is a 90s car. I want to do something like obnoxiously 90s. So I don't know if you guys remember those like 90s windbreakers, the purple and like green ones. I'll post a picture of it in here. But that was my idea. That and like those 90s solo cups with like the teal and the teal and the purple and the white. I was like, that is about as 90s as you can get and about as Nickelodeon as you can get. So I was like, I'm going with that idea. So I was like, I need a really bright, vibrant purple. So I got their HKS Purple Pearl. And then I mixed it into their matte clear, which is something I haven't used before. I really dig it because it looks more intentionally matte, like especially like if you're spraying outside or you're not in like a enclosed like condition, like in a garage or something. It's really nice because it actually turns out well. With like my finding that if you're trying to use their gloss top coat, it can turn out glossy, but if you're not spraying it in like a good environment, it's not going to completely wet out. It's going to like flash too quickly, especially outside, and then it just ends up looking like that, you know, the matte finish, but it just looks like a crappy version of it. I threw down a black base coat, and then I threw down I had like 2 gallons of the Blurple base coat. The black I just used to get the car like at least one color, and then throw that Blurple down, which was really cool because it almost looked like pearl. The Blurple did. It was really cool, and it was a lot brighter in person than like the photos show you. But then I threw down the HKS Purple, which like for real, if you guys ever want to do that color, it lays so well. Super easy to spray. It has great coverage. Really enjoy it. It's super easy to spray. I mean, like there's no like tiger striping or anything. You just spray it and go. But yeah, the HKS Purple, and then I mixed up, I got their tintable base, and then I mixed 4 gallons, or not 4 gallons, I mixed the whole gallon of 4 different colors. Got 4 tints, black, white, the intense teal, and the fierce pink, and mixed, you know, little quarts into that. The only thing is that I didn't need a quart of each of those. Like I still have about a quart. Like I used like hardly none of that splatter paint really. I mean, maybe only a quarter of the quart, just a couple ounces of each. So like if you wanted to do that, you could probably just get a quart of the primable base, or tintable base is what they call it. Like I've still got like way too much left over of that, those splatter colors, but I always try to leave myself some extra so that I can respray when I tear it up on a track. Yeah, but it turned out really cool. It's like I said, it's either one of those you're gonna love it or hate it sort of things. This paint job is definitely fun. It turns some heads. Everybody loves it, like especially like the kids. Like we were at the car meet the other night on Saturday, first time I drove it, and this little girl comes up and is like, "Mom, I want my GTR painted this way." She's like maybe 5 or 6. It was so awesome. But it's just cool, man. It's definitely a talking point. It was super fun to do. The cool thing is I was like, if I hate it, I'll just peel it up. Which, by the way, I peeled off my 4-year-old dip and it came right off, no problems. Well, there's a couple spots that like didn't want to come up, but that was just because I sprayed it thin, and my car was the first vehicle I ever sprayed. So even spraying it thin, it came off pretty well. So I did use the DYC sprayer on this, the one that they use, which are like hit or miss, garbage or not. I don't know. They work, and they work sometimes, they don't work the other times. But yeah. So if you guys have any questions about what I did with this, or you know, any questions on the LS swap, actually I can show you the engine bay because it's officially done now. But oh, the lighting's terrible right now. But you guys see it. You've seen it before. Quick review on that. Remember that like crazy flaky like holographic spray can stuff. It's awesome. I mean, it still looks great. You can see it on my strut towers. It still looks great. It's just not very durable. So I'm gonna probably end up like, you know, taking all of that off of the core support here, and then respraying it, and then doing another clear over top. But in direct sunlight, it's really cool. It's just a nice little effect. Engine bay is really dirty. But yeah, I'm gonna get the channel on a more frequent upload. That's it. Like, comment, subscribe, ask me questions. See you next time.